Savill Garden's rose garden, I believe, was put in for the Jubilee. Yes, not this Jubilee, the last Jubilee. And here we have many different varieties of roses. Septidale. Of course, it's interesting that they finished their first flush. Bit of deadheading needed, but also a lot of deadheading has been done as well. And as we just pan across, we can see they've used, you know what the shame in my opinion is that we use all these newer varieties of roses, which are a lot of them the old, going back to the old English style with the many petals in the middle. But in fact, to my liking, there was nothing wrong with a good old hybrid tea. Worked really. Sally Holmes there, multicoloured, hard worked deadhead, but again keeps flowering all the way through. This is called Tea Clipper. Beautiful rose, but what's it doing? If I'm critical, we've got a heavy head here and it's hanging down because of the weight of the bloom. And this is one of the troubles with a lot of the new varieties that are being used today in roses, that they've got extremely heavy heads. Whereas if you think about a hybrid tea, it would have no more than a cluster of about 10 petals. Whereas you look at the petal count on this rose here, called Grace. Very nice rose, excellent rose, colourful. And if you look across, you can see Strawberry Hill just over there, that sort of pinky coloured one. More pinks beyond that. Let's have a look around the other side at the whites. And in the middle here, I don't quite know why, because it was a rose garden, but I think this wisteria was here before the roses. And this wisteria has been allowed, yes, look at the inside of that wisteria. It's a collapsed wisteria. I'll show you the inside, and it shows you what you can do with a wisteria and allow them to grow on the ground. And if we look inside, we can see how old that wood is, hundreds of years old. And you can allow wisterias to grow just like this. They would produce a mound of colour in the spring. I must just show you the small building here, what used to be called the buffies. This was where we gardeners used to, in the old days, have our tea, make tea, and it would have had a range, a boiler with a hot ability on the top so that you could put your kettle on. So there are, that would have been a buffy. So we'll move away from the buffy and back to the roses, which is what we came to look at here in the rose garden. And I hope you can understand my reluctance to be too keen on something. Princess of Wales, that's a lower grower, and you can see that's more a compact rose. Has a little pink in it. Not much disease in many of these roses, which I don't know whether they're spraying here at Savill Gardens, but they really are quite. Gertrude Jekyll, another one, that was a David Austin. And walking along here, we've got Burgundy Ice. It's rather attractive, it's a very rich burgundy there. This pink is quite attractive here. On this side, again, a low, compact pink. Hollow Car over this side has been deadheaded a lot. A lot of new bud just coming, but Hollow Car, of course, remember Hollow Car Gardens, which are the ones the RHS garden that's used for. Indigo. Now indigo I've seen in many gardens, but again I find a bit of a trouble to deadhead, because if you look at you have to keep deadheading the deads out of it, and you have to keep, in fact, I'm going to show you how they become a problem. And here is the head of one of these, and you can see the centre rose has died, so that needs deadheading, but you've got 3 buds around it. Okay, when they work perfectly, they work like that, but you can see there's still a dead in the back of it, which needs nipping out. I'm not whinging about the roses. No, it's just I'm a bit of a traditionalist. Good old floribundas and other roses are the ones that I actually particularly like. So let's just finish off looking at ballerina. Now ballerina has been around for a long time, not so much a problem. Lots of small flower here, and you can see them quite plainly here. Doesn't mean too much deadheading, because it seems to form a lovely crown of flower. Yeah, dates back to 1937, ballerina. It's one I planted in many a garden. And we're back to another dwarf pink here, which again, 1879 first produced. Look at it, it's got a lovely cluster of roses. A lot of pinks. Flower carpet. Now, flower carpet was an interesting one. Again, dates back to about 1990, somewhere around there. A whole series of flower carpet. They started off with a pink, and they then worked on some different colours. And here we have a creamy yellowy one. Flower carpet was very successful because you didn't have to deadhead it much, and you could actually just leave it to grow into a mound. And yes, they did grow into a massive mound.